Hey, hi all, and welcome to my series on Cribl log ingestion to Microsoft Sentinel. So we will understand what log sources we can onboard to Cribl and then stream it to Microsoft Sentinel. So we will have a quick introduction for Cribl followed by Microsoft Sentinel and the respective log source and how it can stream to Cribl, and from Cribl how we can get it to Microsoft Sentinel. So this will be the overall overview of this course. You need to have a Cribl account possibly, so Cribl Cloud login. And the best news is that you get a trial account from Cribl, so for 30 days, so you can leverage it to practice stuff, and you can create your own login, right? So we'll also understand how to create your trial account respectively, and then how the organization gets created. And we'll get to understand about Microsoft Sentinel. Microsoft Sentinel is a cloud-based SIEM solution from Azure Cloud. SIEM and SOAR both it offers. So yeah, I'll get to the portal here. For Microsoft Sentinel, we need to have access to the Azure portal, which is very important. You tend to have a log analytics workspace, which is the storage, followed by the onboarding of Microsoft Sentinel on top of that log analytics workspace, and then you can check out the logs which are getting onboarded from this Cribl. We'll understand how to establish connectivity between Azure Cloud by creating a application like Entra application. We need to have Entra application. You need to have Microsoft Entra application. If I just show you quickly, like this, something called as Cribl Stream. Cribl Stream will have the application ID, object ID, the tenant ID. These are very important stuff, right? And then to ingest logs on a custom data collection rule or custom table, you need to have a data collection rule DCR and data collection endpoint, right? So data collection rule. So all in all, I'll give you a high level overview like for Cribl, how to get trial, how to get the trial license, how to onboard a source, log source, how to leverage sample mock logs flow to SIEM, right? How to create source, how to create destination, how to create connection between source and destination, how to create a pipeline, right? Pipeline is very important. How to transform or parse logs in pipeline using regex, eval, etc. functions, right? These are the functions in the pipeline which we can use. Then in Sentinel, it is important for us to understand what is SIEM and SOAR, what is log analytics workspace, what is Azure Monitor, basic service for Sentinel or any other logging service in the ecosystem of Microsoft, right? What is data collection rule, Hmm. So basically, what and how is part of everything, right? So we'll also understand how it is to be done. Not just the what of it, what is just the theoretical aspect, but the hands-on Cribl Sentinel course should have the how part of it, right? So what and how of his data collection rule, again part of Azure Monitor, is often abbreviated as DCR, DCE, right? Then we need an app registration as well, right? App registration at the end at Entra, and assigning permission. We need to assign specific permission called as monitoring metric publisher permission to the app on DCR, right? We will understand how to leverage. We'll understand how to leverage or how to create a custom table creation in log analytics workspace and ingesting logs to it from Cribl. Right, this is what we are going to from Cribl. So this is what the other entity which is very abstract, right? Is the log source, right? Log source, right? That can be whatever trial. So first we'll try to get the mock or sample logs from Cribl, understand their understand its schema, map the schema or table to ingest the logs in Sentinel, right? We understand this, and then we will also log source is the something which what type of log source it is. It can be from Cribl as well, or it can be third party like F5 big IP. I have that in my lab environment, so we can exhibit that, like, right. And okay, then understanding the logs which we are planning to ingest. Okay, here also one more thing, in this place we will understand how to transform the data collection rule, right? This is important because this either break how to check the traffic, whether coming to DCR and not to table. That requires troubleshooting as well, right? A lot of time you'll see the traffic reaching to DCR but not coming to your custom table. We'll also understand how to get the schema and the complete columns of the table, right? We'll understand how to get it populated, right? How to get the schema complete population of data. Also understand like how to upgrade the schema and the DCR, right? And the DCR if some important field is missing, right? If some important field is missing, then how will you get it populated? So overall it's a very exhaustive course, right? We need to understand the fact like how we can get it done from all the perspective of Cribl, Sentinel, and the log sources. So we need to ensure that we have a good understanding. Okay, we have a good um, understanding for the third party log source. It can be third party as well, right? Third party can be anything, right? Now you might observe the scenarios like the third party log source which you have is directly supported from Sentinel, and you would like to leverage that because that comes with some analytical rules, workbooks, etc. by default, and you to use them you need to go with the DCR which the connector offers, right? But at the same time you need to understand that log source would be sending the logs to Cribl, and then from Cribl we are going to ingest to Sentinel. So the high level flow would be like, we will have a log source which will be streaming the logs to Cribl, and then we are going to get it to Microsoft Sentinel, right? This is the key. So that's how we are going to get it to Microsoft Sentinel. So our interaction communication will Cribl, not the log source. So we need to ensure for custom log sources, we should know the current schema which we are getting at Cribl. Whatever we are going to get at Cribl, so that we need to use as reference. To create the custom table. And if we have a data connector out of the box, if Sentinel has data connector out of the box, then we would need what? Then we would need to provide the DCR details, which will have table schema, so that table will amend and share with Sentinel. Right. So if we have our own DCR, we need to specify the schema that in this format this table receives the logs in this way, so that Cribl will amend the flow of logs by transforming it. Now other thing is transformation or parsing. Transformation slash parsing will happen at Cribl side, right? Because it's a stream, it will get the logs, it will transform and send it to the Sentinel, in which Sentinel will understand, right? Like that. So this is important, but at times we might need to do it at Sentinel side as well, but most of the time it should be catered at the Cribl side itself. So this is the high level overview. In the upcoming session we will understand what is Cribl, what is Sentinel, right? And then how to get started with them, right? So stay tuned. I hope you'll get to understand things hands-on and will be able to implement in your own environments. Thank you. Take your time to understand things.